Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bay Area Musicians Podcast. I am your host, Matt Gretter. Thank you so much for joining me here today on a fabulous Tuesday. It is a little wet out here today here in San Mateo. We're getting a little bit of rain out here in the Bay Area, but we are above ground. We're breathing. It is a good day. Well, it's great to be back with you guys. It's been quite a while since I've been able to put an episode together for you. Last time we were here, my cousin Nicole was here, and she was asking me questions that I had to answer, and that was about 3 months ago. It's been an absolutely crazy 3 months, but things are starting to iron themselves out a little bit, and there's a little bit more opportunity for me to put some episodes together again for you guys, and so we're back at it. And I feel that it's right to fill you in a little bit on what's been happening these past couple months, and kind of give you an insight as to what's been happening. And let's get to it. So first off, I found out that I'm going to be an uncle again, which is so awesome. My brother and my sister-in-law, they're pregnant with their second child, and I really can't wait to meet the little guy when he arrives. It's going to be amazing. And also, too, most recently, I picked up a new hobby in welding, and I've actually been trying to put together a metal shop in my garage. Oh, not a big one, but a little one. And I've just been really passionate about welding these past couple months, and so I've just been putting a lot of time putting that together. And also, too, as you guys know. I am a huge fanatic of like race cars or cars, trucks, namely Chevrolet, but also motorcycles. And I have huge aspirations at some point in the future to actually build my own custom chopper. And in order to do that, you need some kind of a metal shop. So that's one of the reasons why I've been putting together a metal shop in my garage, is because I want to get the skills to build my own motorcycle one of these years, and also with work too. As you guys know, I'm an 18-wheeler truck driver in the mornings, and particularly with the holiday season, it was incredibly busy. I was averaging about 12, 13-hour days, just delivering beer all day. And so by the time I got home, I was literally dead on my feet, and there was no energy whatsoever. So there was hardly any time or hardly any energy to continue doing the show over the past couple months. But things are starting to iron out, and there's a little bit more time now to where I can start putting episodes together again for you guys, and I'm really happy about that. I love being able to shine a light on the music scene out here in the Bay Area, get to highlight several artists out here in the Bay Area, as many local artists as I can, and really just having a fun time with it, which I really enjoy doing with you all, and thank you so much for being here for this. Before we get started with today's episode, which we're actually going to highlight a couple of local artists that I have found. The world got the news this past weekend that Brad Arnold of Three Doors Down had passed away after his battle with kidney cancer, and that really hit me and my wife Brianna really, really hard, because not only are we fans of Three Doors Down music, but Brad himself, we never got to meet him, but we did see Three Doors Down play in Wheatland, California, in late 2024 when they were opening for Creed on the Summer of '99 tour. And Brad was just absolutely amazing, not just in his performances, but in how he treated the audience. He didn't look at us as fans. He would always, after every 2, maybe 3 songs, he would always talk to us, and he would always call us his friends. And you felt like you were family with Brad. And he was an incredible man of faith, and he was not afraid to profess his faith to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, to everybody in the audience and everywhere he went. He was a true American patriot through and through. And there's definitely a big void in the world right now that now he is gone. But it is said that he wrote in one of his songs, "When I'm Gone," just simply put, "Love me when I'm gone." And that is exactly what me, Brianna, every Three Doors Down fan, and the entire world will be doing. We will be loving Brad while he is gone until we meet again. So before we continue with the episode, please join me in a moment of silence as we remember Brad Arnold of Three Doors Down. Alrighty, so let's kick off the show with some local artist spotlights. I really wish that I was able to find some more artists to shine the spotlight on in this episode. However, there wasn't really a lot of time for me to prepare, so the amount of limited research that I was able to do, I felt that it was at least okay enough to try to put an episode together. And so that is exactly what we are going to do here. We're going to shine the spotlight on a few local artists. The first group that I have in our local artist spotlight is a group called Catnip. They are a rock and roll band from San Francisco, and all of the information that I am gathering about these artists, it is all according to Spotify and bandsintown.com. No paid sponsorship in any way. It's just those are the two sources that I go to for artist information regarding bios and also upcoming show dates. So according to Spotify in their bio, mainly it all started with a guy named Jack. I do not know his last name. I wish I did, but Jack, who is mostly influenced by artists like Steel Panther and Tenacious D. He actually wrote several albums worth of songs before he recruited his friend and drummer Miles, who was heavily influenced by the Bay Area music legends Journey, to quote, go loud with Jack's songs. Most noticeably, I keep confusing notably with noticeably. Most notably, their song called Meant It, like I meant it, which currently has 33,500 plays on Spotify, and it was released in 2024. It is a very energetic song, and it has a very driving electric guitar sound, and it's definitely a song that'll get you up and dancing. And especially for me as a drummer myself, I love the element of this particular song where there's changes in feel when it comes to full time and halftime. Being able to go in between full time and halftime and offer different ranges of space in between notes, that's something that for me really gives a song not only a dynamic range, but I guess you could say like a feel range where there's room where you're balls to the wall going crazy, and then in the same song it's like, oh, okay, we can relax a little bit here. So I really like those changes of full time and halftime, and which to me makes it a very well-rounded dynamic song. Most recently, they released their latest single, "L.A. Woman," which was released last year, and it is a very, very hard driving song with a lot of heavy instrumentation, heavy guitars, heavy bass. There's a slight. I detected when I listened to this a slight inspiration from hip hop as far as like the lyrical phrasing, while I'm assuming that it's Jack who is singing. There's a little bit of a hip hop phrasing in the verse sections. That is something that I think is really cool too. It kind of ties in both audiences of the rock world and also the hip hop world. So a little bit of a cross genre type sound there. So I definitely think that is something that is really, really cool. And that particular song is definitely one that will get your head banging. And according to Spotify, they do, and also Bands in Town, they currently don't have any shows on the calendar at the moment, but they are definitely a band that I highly recommend checking out and staying in tune with on Bands in Town and Spotify. Keep following them to check out for any updates regarding upcoming shows or anything of that sort. Please check them out, and you will not be disappointed with their songs. And if their songs are really good, which they are, I highly believe that their shows are going to be super fun too. So I would highly recommend checking them out. The next artist that we have here is the Silver Shores. They're an indie/alternative band that was formed in 2022 just across the bay in Oakland, California. And please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing any names, but the current lineup of the Silver Shores consists of Andrew McHale, Mario Amanzio, please forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, John Andrews, and Haley Chevener. And all of them have brought a very wide-ranging pool of influences into their music. Most noticeably, according to Spotify, they take their influences from groups like My Morning Jacket, Wild Nothing, The Shins, and also a group called Always. When I first heard their music on Spotify, it gave off a very classic rock / power ballad type feel to it, which I think is really cool. I love power ballads. Laid back songs as far as like from a time perspective, but they still have that rock and roll punch to it. That's something that I really love, and that's what really drew me to their music. So, for example, their song called Stand Still, which was released in 2022 on their self-titled debut EP, is kind of a laid-back power ballad. That's how I would describe it. And it's a very cool vibe. It would be the kind of song that let's just say you get home from work and you're exhausted and you want to relax, and you put on a relaxing tune, but at the same time you just want that little bit of a rock and roll edge in there, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. That's the type of vibe that I would give that song, Stand Still. However, there's another song they have that was released this past year in 2025 called Shadow Artist. And that song is definitely more high energy, a lot, not necessarily AC/DC type, like staccato, short in your face type riffs, but it is definitely a high energy song that'll get your feet tapping and your hands clapping to the beat. I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. Their music is also available on Spotify, and check out for any upcoming dates, which they actually do have one on Friday, February 20th at a place called Spats Berkeley, which is in Berkeley, California, just across the bay. And this is actually going to be a multi-act show, which begins at, the doors open at 7 and the show begins at 8. And they'll be performing with 3 other acts called Hypnotic Pattern, Dark Satellite, and The Lightning Section. And I just did a kind of like a skim through research of Hypnotic Pattern and Dark Satellite, and they're more heavy metal bands. So this is definitely a show that's going to have a very wide ranging sonic palette of rock music, from classic rock / power ballad all the way up to heavy metal. So if you're into that type of concert where it has that different sonic range, I highly recommend you check out this song. Tickets for this show, which may be in the form of a cover charge at the door, or if there's actual tickets, I like an external link to purchase tickets. I'm not exactly sure, but they will be $10, and I highly recommend you do not miss this show. Go check out the Silver Shores at Spats Berkeley, Friday, February 20th at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7. Highly recommend it. And then finally, the last artist that we're going to be highlighting here is Meredith Edgar. She is originally from San Francisco, and she still lives there today. She is a singer-songwriter who, after listening to her music, she has an absolutely incredible voice. And there was a quote by Cindy Emsch, if I'm pronouncing that last name right, who is of Secret Emsch Society. And she describes Meredith's voice as stepping out of a David Lynch movie. I'm not exactly sure who David Lynch is, but based on what I hear in Meredith's voice, I would imagine that would probably go back to the 20s, 30s, or 40s type of era where that type of sound existed. It really feels like you're going into a time machine when you listen to Meredith's voice. Soft, melodic, and her songs have kind of classified as melancholic. So they're slow, minimal instrumentation, acoustic guitar, maybe a little bit of violin or piano in there. Just very, very minimal music, which is also really cool as well. There's plenty of times where, despite me being, heavy on rock and country myself, there are times where I like to just listen to a song that is just acoustic guitar. And so for anybody who is into that type of music, Meredith Edgar is definitely somebody that you're going to want to check out. According to her bio, she started writing songs at the age of 14, and she was heavily influenced by artists like Billie Holiday, Jolie Holland, Fiona Apple, and Julie London, just to name a few. And like I said, her sound is very melancholic, also very melodic, with minimal instrumentation and a lot of space in between notes, which is also really, really cool. And according to her lyrics, she expresses her perspective on current events that are happening, events and experiences that are going on in today's world. And it, in my humble opinion, it doesn't really matter what she's saying. All you need to do is just listen to her voice, and you're going to listen, because her voice is really, really that good. According to bandsintown.com, she has a show coming up this Saturday, which is Valentine's Day, February 14th, at a place called the Right Spot Cafe, RITE Spot Cafe, which is in San Francisco, California. This show is actually free admission, so no tickets, no cover charge, no nothing. Just walk in the door and enjoy a show. And it is titled A Valentine's Day Seance with the Good Evening Folks. And this is going to feature not only Meredith, but also members from two other groups called the Pine Box Boys and the Lester T. Ross Gravesite Quartet. So based on everything I've been putting together with listening to Meredith's music and the description around this show, it's definitely one that you're not going to want to miss. And especially since it's Valentine's Day, this would be a perfect date night for any couple out there. So if you want to see a show on Valentine's Day, make it a wonderful date night with your significant other, I highly recommend that you check this show out. The show will begin at 8:30 p.m. Continue to check out Meredith Edgar on Spotify and Apple Music. You will not be disappointed with her. So that's pretty much it for the artist spotlight for this episode. But I figured that we could do another quick little segment where I would share one or maybe a couple of musical memories of mine on my musical journey, where I started from and how I got to where I am today, and really just pick one of those memories. And one of the big memories that stands out is my time with All Roads, which was the first rock band that I was a part of that actually got me out of the basement. And so it was an incredible experience. I got to I put an ad out on Craigslist looking for musicians, and funny thing is, just before that, I put out an ad on Craigslist, and that's how I met my wife, Brianna. How crazy is that? But just after that, a guy named Dave Hilbert reached out to me because he saw my Craigslist ad, and he's like, "Hey, we think your drumming would be perfect for this band that we're trying to put together. Would you like to come to an audition?" And I said, "Yes." And so he and this guitar player named Johannes Jansen, we just got into a little studio in Redwood City, and we just jammed out for a couple hours, and it was a lot of fun. And then 2 hours later, they called me back, and it's like, "Hey, we want you to be in this band." And ever since that time, from 2014 to maybe early 2018, which was the duration of the band, despite it being a relatively short time, there were a lot of great experiences. The first one being the very first show that I ever played was with All Roads. And that was at a place called the Quarter Note in Sunnyvale, California. I'm more than sure that it's still there today. It is a dive bar, which any musician first starting out, that is going to most likely be your first show. But one thing about the Quarter Note was cool, especially for me at that time, was that the stage was elevated like almost 4 feet above the dance floor, which to me, getting on that stage and looking out over the top of everybody, it felt like that I was actually playing a stadium on that type of stage. And so that in itself was incredibly memorable. And the show itself went incredibly well. Everybody was on their game. And I actually on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Matt Gretter, you go back to I think the year 2014. There's a couple of drum cam videos from that very first show. So if you haven't had a chance to see those, go and check those out. It's actually pretty cool. Drum cam footage of my very first show. I would highly recommend checking that out because that was a memorable night for me. Another thing that All Roads really gave me experience with was being in the recording studio. We went to Trackwork Studios in South San Francisco, and we recorded our very first EP called Sliding Away. And it was an incredible experience. Here I'm in this recording studio recording my drums for the very first time, and it's like, I'm actually going to be on a record, you know? So it really felt surreal in that moment. But also, too, it was a very big learning experience. How to perform with click tracks for the sake of recording, and also how to make your instrument speak the way that it needs to in order to translate well on the recordings. And this is just me being my own worst critic, but there's like teeny tiny little things that I wish I could have done differently. That's just me looking back on everything in hindsight and all of that. But particularly one thing that really stood out was that I felt that the presence of the snare drum was lacking a little bit on that EP because I wasn't hitting it the right way. And so, excuse me, but it was all a learning experience. And the cool thing about All Roads was that not only did we do one EP, but we did a second EP. And that second EP, taking what I had learned from the second one, which is called Try Not to Fall, I felt that the execution of the drums was much better on my part, and I'm very proud of both recordings, don't get me wrong, but particularly the second recording was the one that I'm the most proud of. And out of that second EP, Try Not to Fall, we had a song that we released as a single called Atom Bomb, and we actually sent that into a sort of like a new artist startup agency called Academia. And essentially you would submit your song, you would say what category that it is, what genre, and they would put all of these different songs that fit into that genre, and they would kind of vote on which one they thought was the best. And in our particular case, Atom Bomb in Academia won the best hard rock song for the month of June of 2017. And that was absolutely amazing. They sent us a plaque of the achievement, which I still have. Eventually, I do want to put a barn in the big backyard that I have here, and it's going to be a rehearsal space, a recording studio, and kind of a man cave type thing. That's where that plaque is going to be going, hands down. And so yeah, getting to experience my very first show with any band is an incredibly memorable experience. And then getting your first recording experience, and also out of it, you have an achievement of winning best hard rock song. And that was all of it is incredibly memorable. And in fact, if you guys want to check out All Roads' music, it is still available on Spotify. You can look up All Roads and it just pops right up. And we're actually also available on iTunes / Apple Music. So if you want to check out the songs, please feel free to. Let me know what you think. You can message me on social media about it. Everything social media for me, either personally or musically, is Matt Gretter. And I would love to hear what you guys think about it. It was a really fun time. Dave Hilbert, Dave Romanoskis, Mike Matthews, Johannes Jensen, and Tom Chambers, you guys all gave me an incredible first band experience that I will never forget. And I really hope to be able to catch up with all of you guys. If you are listening, that would be absolutely cool if we could do that. All Roads, I will always remember. And I can't thank you guys enough for it. Thank you so much. Well, that's pretty much all we have for this episode here today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's been quite a while since we put the last episode out there, but hopefully I'll be able to, with everything kind of leaning down a little bit, I'll be able to put out some more episodes for you. I'm not exactly sure how consistent it will be, but I will do the absolute best that I can, and hopefully be able to carve out a schedule where things can eventually be a little more consistent. Can't promise that at the moment, but I'm going to do the absolute best that I can. And thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. And I will see you next time on the Bay Area Musicians Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.